Right, so welcome to another one of our vlogs for 2021. Obviously there's been a long time between drinks on these, but anyway, we got so busy over the off season leading up to that round one that we just didn't get the time to get all of this together and show you guys what eventuated from all the hard work that we did over the off season of 2020 leading into the first round at Mount Smart. So we've got a whole lot to show you over a couple more vlogs here of everything we recorded over a certain amount of time, so stay tuned and you'll get to see a lot more. We had a fair few new partnerships, and one of those was Werks Wheels New Zealand. Obviously sorted out in the 2020 year, we ordered these brand new wheels from Werks Wheels from Japan that they have to all bring in specially for these cars. Now we went for an 8.5 wheel on the front. Now that's just to keep, to give us enough clearance for the Wisefab steering on the front, and we went for an 10.5 on the rear. So T5R in the white, which looks really good on the cars this season. It's really made them pop as well. So really love this partnership with Werks Wheels, and we're super thankful to have them on board this season. See the guys here, Harvey and the team from Werks Wheels up in Whangarei, and it was an awesome experience to go up there and see their warehouse of so many wheels, and also collect all of our 18 wheels for these GT86s for the 2021 season. Love having them on board. Hopefully this is going to go on for many years now, and we'll go through a fair amount of wheels as the years goes on. Crucial part of getting these cars ready for the 2021 season was obviously the paint. So we've been at Pariah Custom Works that had a lot of fab to the rear ends. We'd also done those fiberglass molds in the rear ends, and there was a whole lot of stuff that required paint so that we could finally put these things back together ready for the season. Thank you to Resene Automotive for the massive amount of support over the last few years. We managed to take the cars up to their training centre based in Mount Wellington, where we coated them in primer, a 2-pack primer, and also then top coated them in our TJM orange as well. So there was a lot of preparation that needed to be done prior to that. We did a lot of that in-house. We sanded everything down. There was a lot of work that we had to do at home prior to taking them to the booth and putting the last few coats of paint on them. There's so much prep work that goes into getting these cars to that point of just applying the paint. The paint's the easy part, to be honest with you, but a lot of preparation there. There's a whole team of us, all of our crew, giving us a hand to sand these all down, get them all ready so that they are ready for that last coat of TJM orange for the season. I love this part when we get to put on the last coats of paint and get that orange. It just makes it all pay off with a large amount of time that we spend on these cars, just getting them ready. Once we were done, we would leave the cars to bake for a certain amount of time just to make sure the paint hardens, and then we were loading them up, getting them ready to head back to our workshop to do the last little bits on the cars before they all go together. Now the next part that was crucial to these cars, obviously, we can't do anything without our engines. So the engines by Hughes Race Engineering this season, we've done the full rebuild after 2 strong seasons on these 2JZs. And he's fully pulled these apart, and we've done some additional work with the intake ports. He's cleaned up the exhaust ports as well, and we've got a whole lot of rebuild, the new bearings and everything like that to ensure that these last a season and a few more seasons after this.
We just got the heads back from machining at Motorsport. So I've gone through and cut the seats to suit the new 1mm over through valves we've gone with. We're going through now and roughing the ports out with a burr bit, just getting rid of the standard castings and evening them all up. Once we're happy with that, we go through and do each individual port with dividers and get them all the same size and shape them how we want. And then once we're happy with that, go through with the poly roll and give them that nice even finish.
Once all the machine work had been done by Tom at HRE, it was time to put everything back together. So we had everything come back from Marsh Motorsport where the machining had been done, and then Tom would slowly and carefully put everything back together, including our heads, cams, new bearings throughout, and some brand new aftermarket Pariah valves for this season too. There's a lot that goes into this, obviously. There's a whole lot to these engines, but Tom is an absolute wizard with these motors, and then slowly put them back together over about a 5-day period. Once the heads were back on, then we had to put all of the timing gear on and those Kelford cams in the heads too. So much effort from Tom at HRE, the motors were finally done. So we loaded them up and we brought them back to our workshop where we put everything onto them, the peripherals, which are our turbo, our ball-warner turbo, our Elwood parts, intake manifold, and all the lines that are associated with that. We can then put them into the cars, get it all final fitting before we could concentrate on the back of the cars with that whole rear radiator setup and do the lines for the new radium fuel cell, which is in the back seat of these GT86s. Now there was so much more that we had to get done at this point. We still had to do those lines, we still had to do the oil lines for the cars. There was a lot of rear radiator work that we had to fit and put together everything that's been away at powder coating. It's going to take a whole lot of time. So keep watching and you'll see up in the next one coming up how we got to that point.